So I got a request to show people my what I do to get ready for scam baiting. So I've prepared a few things here to show everybody. I'm running at the moment Arco Linux, which is very nice, although most of the Arch Linux are distros are quite good. What I like about Arco is the way it handles the workspaces. So I can switch back and forth between multiple workspaces, which is quite handy. Now the first thing I've got is if I go to my regular workspace 1, you can see I have multiple tabs open. This is the phone book that's done by Bob RTC, which allows people who are registered with them, and to get registered is a rather complicated process. You have to log in multiple ways, and that's to keep the scammers out. But what they do is to collect phone numbers that are known scammer numbers, and then you can call them directly from within Bob RTC. So for example, I click on this, and it's going to check my browser, and I'm not going to call at the moment. But one of the things you can do is
you dialed is not in service at this time.
One of the things you can do is change your voice. You can use the keypad to enter numbers. You can do whatever you want. On the right-hand side, there's a little bit of information about the scam that you're dialing into, so you have a good idea of what you're getting into. You can also generate fake names and credit card numbers and so on and so forth from within the site. Now, I rarely use these. I have my own little fake details related to Ulysses S. Grant and George Armstrong Custer. There's another really good scam baiting site, which is, scammer.info, and I post links there, and they post other information about assorted scams, and there's a discussion board where you can talk to other scam baiters about problems, issues, things like that. Let's see what else here. Oh, this was one of them posted a link to this classic browser hijack. So if you can always put this into your system, if the scammer wants to see, to prove that you've actually been scammed. So you can do that. Let me pause here for a second and get the pills for Sheila. So just a second, I'm going to pause this. Okay, so I'm back. So where were we? Okay, we're going to go back to this workspace. One thing I forgot to mention about this neat site here is that when you call, the caller ID on the scammer side will always be a different number. If you watch right here, so that's 6641 number, and if I call again, it will be a different number, 707390. So you have all sorts of protections against them knowing who you are. Now, the other thing I use to call, though, is Google Voice, which is a free call, and I will often call. As you can see, I've made a lot of calls to assorted scammers. This is an incoming call I got this morning from a 49 country code, which I'm guessing might be India, and it could be the scammer I baited this morning, calling back to try to connect to my computer again. One of the things I do, unlike a lot of scam baiters, I don't yell at them, I don't swear at them. I try to set it up so that they don't know that they have been baited. They just can't figure out why nothing seems to work. The idea is to make them feel incompetent, so they'll become less secure in the scamming they're trying to do. Anyway, that's just my theory. So anyway, when I've connected with somebody, then I switch over to this other workspace, and I open up. I've already done it here. I've got my this by the way is a simple screen recorder. It's a very nice Linux program that allows me to record a portion of a screen, a whole screen, whatever you want, and it works really very well. And then I can convert it to a file that I can upload to YouTube or whatever. This is VirtualBox. Now I can have multiple operating systems running within this VirtualBox. At this point I only have one. I'll click it to show it to you. This is the VirtualBox I'm using. It's a Windows, it's called Windows FX, which is a Linux distribution that looks a lot like Windows. So it has, you know, the Windows Start menu, and when it loads up, it shows the Windows logo and everything else. And I've created two users. One is Ulysses S. Grant, and the other one is George Armstrong Custer. So right now I'm logged in as Grant. The other thing I've done is to edit some bank sites. So this one, for example, is a copy of the Apple River State Bank website, except that I added online banking effective January 1st, 2021. All customers must use their tablets. That's not on the Apple River website, which the real one is this. Okay, you'll notice that message is gone. Well, what I do, the scammers always try to get you to log into your bank account. So what I've done is to create just a web page that I can pull up by clicking on my desktop. It takes me to this page, this fake page, which took me about 20 seconds to create. That makes it look like I can only use my tablet. And of course, if I log in on my tablet, there's no way that the scammers could see the passwords and user IDs, which is their goal, is to get you to log in to your real bank. I have no account at Apple River. I just thought it was kind of fun because it's close to Galena when I'm using the Ulysses S. Grant Galena address. But anyway, there's another bank that I've set up, which is a little more sophisticated. This is a real bank, the Next Gen Personal Finance, but it's a simulated bank to get people to just play around and get used to the bank. So I've already logged in, and these entries, let me make this bigger. These entries are all fake. I changed the dates on these this morning, very easy to do. Added this whole entry, and so the scammers can get in here, and for the life of them, they can't quite figure out why it's not working. So that's kind of fun. What they try to do, of course, is to go in and using the settings in Chrome. Oops, clicked the wrong one. I've got to go back to this. What they try to do, and I have to log in again. And this is a fake bank. It's not very sophisticated, but it allows you to move around. Now notice that this is online now, but the dates are all 2017, and if a smart scammer will notice that the dates are all wrong, which is why I created the other page. But you know, you can move around and play around. It looks sort of like a real bank. Although it's not going to fool anybody who's halfway smart at all. But anyway, and these are just some things that I stuck on the desktop to make it look like it's a real working desktop. one thing I put on here is, for example, a fake Bitcom wallet. This GPG means it's encrypted, which should get their attention. If they double click on it, what they get is simply this. It shows an encrypted file, except of course it's empty. There's nothing in it anyway. So even if they were able to decrypt it, which they cannot, they would find nothing to begin with because it's all complete phony. These are real articles that I was pulling up to read. So if they click on them, they'll actually see, taking a while to come up here. There we go. They'll see a real article for what it's worth. And this is a something I wrote. Can't even remember what it was now. But anyway, so that's basically how the my setup. Creating a virtual operating system is really quite easy. And then I can switch back to my other workspace and do whatever I want. These two workspaces are completely isolated from each other, so anything I do in this workspace can't be seen by the second workspace. As far as what the scammer can see, all the scammer can see is this box right here. And anything he or she does is completely isolated from my regular operating system, which is also a Linux operating system. So there's really, you're completely isolated, and anything they do can't hurt you at all. And then when you go to leave, you click on save, and what it will do is to save the OS you're using in the state it was when you left. You can also just power down the machine. But one nice thing you can do then is to create, if you like this state and want to be able to go back to it, you can create a snapshot, as many snapshots as you want. So I could take 2 snapshots, for example. And if the scammer did something really screwed up my OS and I didn't want it saved like that, I'll just click on an earlier snapshot and I'll be returned exactly to where it was. Sort of like, Microsoft Restore, except it's much, much faster. Much faster. So anyway, that's pretty much the way it is. If you want a demo sometime, I suppose we could do that, although there are so many numbers now that are hard to connect to because they change numbers so fast. Anyway, that's a quick and dirty explanation of how I do it.